Critical race theory is not being taught in elementary and K through 12. That's true. What is being taught is the conclusion that critical race theory has come to, which is that the white race is irredeemably racist. And that is being inculcated and indoctrinated into children in many of these schools. So you can say, yes, critical race theory isn't being taught, only its conclusion being taught. It would be like saying, if you took all the ideas of the Ku Klux Klan, all of its race theory, and you never mentioned the Ku Klux Klan, and you didn't bring anybody in with robes to teach the weird rituals of the Ku Klux Klan, but taught them that all blacks are inferior and Catholics are inferior and such nonsense, you'd still be teaching it. You wouldn't be teaching the Klan's theory, you'd just be teaching its conclusions. And those are the same conclusions, only this time from critical theory and one of its offshoots, critical race theory. And that's offensive. Of course it's offensive. As for your comments on the poor oppressed Latino, well, or Latinx, whatever that is. It always amuses me that most Italians aren't considered Latinos. Bizarre. And people of color is also a bizarre concept. There is no place called color land. There is no white land. There is nobody that speaks whitish. We're all different ethnic groups, even within an ethnic group. It's sad that performers who might be brilliant in their field, such as yourself, have decided to venture into areas where they have the slightest possibility to understand what's being said, because for one, they're all wrapped up in their own image and ideology, and for two, they seem not to have a really good grasp on critical thinking. So to say they're not teaching critical race theory, so calm the F down, is meaningless when they're teaching its conclusions, that all white people are irredeemably racist. And if I were to go for advice from someone, as a parent, the last person I'd probably go to is someone from your industry, which is primarily employed in making motion pictures with extreme violence, very poor values whatsoever. It's just sex and violence and a cartoonish view of the world. Occasionally, someone makes a movie that's worthwhile, but for the most part, it's pretty bad. I mean, you could read a book. Read a book, people. Read a book. A good book. Don't waste your time watching people slit people's throats and shooting and murder and whatever, and wondering, where's all the violence coming from? Well, it must be from white supremacy. Okay. Mexico and Texas. Being that you brought that up. Mexico invited in people to come in from the United States and other places to settle in Mexico, because in Texas, the state of Texas, because it was sparsely populated, very sparsely populated, because it's a very dangerous place with Comanche raids, etc. So they came in with a certain understanding. The understanding was they would become Catholic and that they would become Mexicans for all intents and purposes. And they did do that. But the problem came up when General Santa Anna, you remember him, maybe you don't, maybe you think he's just a county in Orange County, I mean a place in Orange County. General Santa Anna sort of seized control of all of Mexico, and in the process fomented a revolution in several Mexican states, not just Texas. So, at the end of all this, in the Guerra con Texas, Texas became a republic, and then eventually became part of the United States. Many people have done very, very well. I have very, very many friends who have done very well in the United States just coming over from Mexico. As a hard-working person and an honest person can do very well. However, if you want to keep fomenting this nonsense, you can do so because you're protected from it all. You can sit in your very wealthy conclaves and be protected and spew out as much venom as you want, you know. They don't have spitting vipers, you know, like a cascabel, or rattlesnake can't spit, or cobras do. But you come pretty damn close, my friend, you and your colleagues. So maybe you should just shut the F up. Give that some consideration. Or perhaps do a little reading. You know? Seems to me I don't think you're starving to death. You look pretty healthy, so your ethnicity didn't seem to cause you many problems. And if it did, well, I'm sorry for that. Because as myself, I'm basically, I've got 3 ethnicities going, and or races, if you call them. I don't pay much attention to it, you know. But all of them have done well. And my mother was raised in a converted railroad boxcar. And we still climbed our way out. And so can anyone else. So don't listen to these actors. They don't know shit from Shinola. Work hard, get a good education, and don't hate. That's all you need to know, my friends.